Okay, everyone, we're going to get started. Just a quick housekeeping note. There are restrooms over here to my right, your left. So we'll start off by introducing a man who needs no introduction, Joe Simperman.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. First, I think we should just all give our county team and the people who made this happen. Let's start it off right with a round of applause. Truly. And I have the privilege of introducing somebody who embodies so many of the missions in this room of welcoming our international sisters and brothers, of helping make our community the economic, vibrant place it could be with people from all over the world, making people feel that sense of home. Someone that I know our county executive looks up to wanted me to share a prayer that his mom used to say to him. She was from Poland, and when they immigrated to Cleveland, she would say to him this prayer every night, and I think our county executive embodies it, and it's pretty straightforward, and it goes like this. They drew a line to keep me out, heretic rebel, one to flout, but love and our county executive had the wit to win. They drew a circle and brought him in. County Executive Chris Ronayne.
Let's give it up for the CEO of Global Cleveland, Joe Simperman. He always comes bearing gifts. I just never know what. That was a gift. Thank you, Joe. And thank you all for being here today. We're going to tag team back and forth in making some introductions and having some of our guests greet you today. But before I go further, because lest we forget, we have a number of elected officials who are here today. And I think it speaks to the intentionality of what this community represents, why we are here today. We are here to welcome the world to Cuyahoga County, to Cleveland, Ohio, to Northeast Ohio. And we have representatives from the city of Cleveland, representatives from Cuyahoga County and beyond. I just wonder, and there's a couple sitting right up here with me who are going to speak in a few minutes, but if you raise a hand or stand up, if you would, to our elected officials who are here, please, I want to just give them a round of applause. Joe's going to introduce some of them. Joe's going to probably reintroduce, but we're lucky to have our city council president, Blaine Griffin, with us today, who's been tirelessly committed to all of Cleveland since he was community relations director and now council president and councilman all the way through. Councilman Dale Miller, who served a number of elected offices, but again, committed to the polyculture that is Cleveland. Thank you. That's County Councilman Dale Miller. We are lucky to have County Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell, who oversees the Health and Human Services Committee, which makes her a very busy person. I'm grateful you're here, and thank you. And to Councilwoman Turner, her colleague on the County Council, we're going to hear from Meredith Turner in a minute. Thank you. And our host council person from the city of Cleveland, Chris Harsh, who's a supporter of this effort, tried and true. Thank you, Chris. And I know that because the first day we kicked off a soft opening with our Congolese community, you were excited about that effort right here in Old Brooklyn. I've just taken part of Joe Simperman's job, but he's going to come bearing more gifts. And I'm grateful to my partner at Global Cleveland and Resource Cleveland. We're going to introduce Patrick Kearns and his team in a minute. But this is an exciting day. For the members of the media who are here, thank you for being here. Why we are here is twofold. One, we are establishing Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, specifically our county, the second county in the state of Ohio, to receive a distinction as a certified welcoming community. It's a big deal to us because, again, it speaks to who we are and our intentionality to welcome the world in complex times to Cuyahoga County. So to be recognized for our efforts in this very opening today of this welcoming center, the first of its kind, the Cuyahoga County Welcoming Center, which I've been inspired over the years by my friend Joe Simperman to do this, to do the right thing. This was something I said coming into office a year and a half ago I was going to do. I was going to do it with you. We were going to open our doors to the world with the Cuyahoga County Welcoming Center. And when I say Cuyahoga County, it's all our communities. It's the city of Cleveland that we're in today, and it's all of the other 58 communities of Cuyahoga County. We're 59 communities strong, 1.2 million people, but we have room to grow. And we have all grown as a community over the years because of our families that came from somewhere else. We all share a root in one thing, the world. From some part of the world came your family. And today, more families are coming to this region and to the city and to this county, and we welcome you. And it's an emotional day for me because I just feel the love. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, that our team has put out this effort to bring this center to bear, and then again to be recognized as a certified welcoming community. I want to thank, and I've got a few thank yous, but again, Joe and I are going to tag team a little bit on this. I want to say to our representatives from the Department of Health and Human Services, I introduced the chair, our director, David Merriman, all of our directors. Would you please just give a hand on our staff from Health and Human Services? Give them a hand. We asked for this and you said, let's go, and you did it. And it wouldn't have happened without a team. With Health and Human Services team, we also have a team of public works officials. And again, all you HHS folks, thank you. And all of our cabinet members, all the county team, thank you. I see you all out there. Quick shout out to Sabrina Roberts. It's your birthday today on Valentine's Day. Thank you. I couldn't let the moment go without showing the love. But let me also just pivot to one other team that's been an extraordinary partner in the effort to get this open, and that's our public works team. They're the behind the scenes builders that get it done. So wherever you are, raise a hand if you're with the public works team. Let's just give them a shout of our appreciation. We at Cuyahoga County and the administration, we don't do anything without our county council. So again, I'm appreciative to the leadership and Council President Pernell Jones, who may also be joining us today. But I'm thankful to all 11 members of the body and all 17 members of the Cleveland City Council, led by Council President Griffin, and also to the mayor's administration. We're in your city today, and we're proud to be here. A couple other cities I just want to reference. I was asked by a member of the media last week, why here? It's strategic in its location. There's a great cross-section, as you nonprofits know out here, that serve this great public right here. There's a great cross-section of people from all different kinds of communities. And as Joe has referenced repeatedly, there's 140 different communities within our community that make us the powerful, diverse community that we are. But just down the street in the city of Parma, I know Mayor DeGeeter may be with us later today. Tim DeGeeter has shown what welcoming is all about with his community, particularly the Ukrainian community who came in the time of crisis these last 2 years, and they've been welcomed just to the south of here. Jasmine Santana, who is in committee still today. I don't know, Blaine, if that's on you, but I may have you and Chris Harsh say a few things in addition to what Jasmine was going to say. But Jasmine, just up the street, has welcomed the Latino community for years in the community. And we're at that crossroads, whether you're coming from the Congolese community, whether you're coming from the Afghan community that's going to be here tomorrow, Ukrainian community, whether you're coming from points south and east, west, and all over this globe. This is a cross-section of our community. So it's sort of strategically placed with some intentionality to the geography. It's central, it's accessible, and it's welcoming. And our team is welcoming right to the front door, the folks that welcomed you in. I see our state representative, Bride Rose Sweeney, here today. I want to thank you for your support. We were just saying, when leaders show up and the public officials show up, it shows our intentionality that we want to welcome. So I mentioned a number of our team members, again, who are here today. We're also, by the way, speaking of Sweeney, we're in Councilman Martin Sweeney's ward, so appreciate his support in his district in all of this. So why this? What is this? What is this Cuyahoga County Welcome Center, and why are we in this grand opening today? I think it was strategically picked. I want to thank Amanda Dempsey and Kelly Woodard. I think they strategically picked the day, Valentine's Day, a day we show some love, that we love our community. We welcome our community, but we want to ensure that our newcomers, that people like Joe and Patrick and their staffs work with, that they receive all the services that they can. So I appreciate the folks staffing the tables today from, I see, Consumer Affairs, Global Cleveland, County HHS, our Jobs and Family Service team. Kevin, thank you. You're out there. You ensure newcomers what they need, access to what they need. And we saw it in the pilot opening with the Congolese community. People were talking jobs. They were talking schools. They were talking housing. And that's what will happen here. We'll ensure that there's access to English as a second language, that they find an easier path to land. Again, speaking with another member of the media last week, he was talking about his mother who came here 30 years ago from the Philippines. He said, what would you say to her today? Would say, we welcome you, and we should have been there 30 years ago with the same message, made your move into this community even easier. That's what this Welcome Center is all about. It's a touch point for newcomers to have access to a wide array of services. Imagine yourself with the shoe in the other, the shoe on the other foot. You in another country, not knowing the language, not having a job, but knowing that you have the skills and the know-how to do something purposeful in the community that you've entered. That's why we want you to drop in this center. We want all of our nonprofit partners to let people know we're here and our staff is here. So this Welcome Center will be a foundation to meet first and foremost basic needs, but help people with their matriculation of what happens in their life from there, to find housing, to find jobs, to find schools, and to find resources. And in that vein, I want to thank our partners at Global Cleveland and Resource Cleveland as hosts of other agencies that help in that effort. And we will work staff to staff to make it happen. Years ago, Joe Simperman showed me a model in Philadelphia. I think it was Ruth O'Callahan that built the Philadelphia Welcoming Center. I remembered it forever. She spoke with the City Club probably 15 years ago. When cities and counties step up to say we want to be officially designated as a welcoming community, that our public leadership believes in the power of diversity, that we can grow again. A place that's actually declined in population can grow again through the strategic welcoming of being intentional about welcoming the world to our place from wherever you come from. We can grow our economy, we can grow our community, and we can become a much richer place. Because, remember some of the facts. Immigrants represent 20% of new business starts. They're 20% of the entrepreneurs who start businesses in this country, lest we forget. But they also add to the flavor of life of the communities. I look to the city of Toronto a lot for inspiration, a place that figured out decades ago, if you welcome newcomers, you grow your city. And you grow it in diversity, and you grow it in intrigue and the uniqueness of what it is. That's what Cuyahoga County will be. We'll help people find stable housing, job support, education and language resources, and legal assistance. I want to thank our friends from Legal Aid who are with us today. And I've said a lot of thank yous and probably not enough. I want to thank all of you who are here. You all represent areas of our community. And wherever I told somebody about this opening, they showed up. Mark Owens, thanks for showing up. Our honorary consul from Ireland and here based in the US showed up. People just said, I'll be there. Businesses, public leaders, nonprofits, they're here. Let me give this back to Joe, and I'm going to come back in a minute and bring up our center manager. But if I forget, let me just say one more time to all of you seated and all of you standing, you wouldn't be here if you didn't care. Thank you. Let's welcome the world to Cuyahoga County and Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you. Joe, come on up and we'll
as our county executive has said, right from the treetops to the grassroots, the coffee you're enjoying today is from Dalia's Bakery in the Pivot Center. Dalia herself, a Mexican immigrant. The bakery you're enjoying, Josie's Bakery from the Honduran community. Just another example of how many of our international newcomers play a role in this. And I know the county executive wanted me to make sure to give a specific thank you to the public-private partnership that makes this happen. On the public side, obviously, David Merriman, Matt Carroll, Aida Idiasquez, Diana Kirkpatrick, Tina Coleman, Sabrina Roberts, and Amanda Dempsey. A round of applause to you guys for all the work that you did to stand this place up. And a special thank you as well to all the county workers from our security team that allows us to be here and to experience a safe environment, as well as all the people who helped build this out. The idea of welcoming certification was first introduced to the county 4 years ago. And I'll never forget, Sanjeev Kapoor, when you were moderating a conversation with this gentleman here on the left, and he said, we are going to stand up a place like this. We were at that patio in the summer, and I remember the international community that was there thought, well, that sounds like a really good idea. And here we are. Promises made, promises kept. When important partners like the Cleveland Foundation, represented today by Megan Wilson, said, we all have to do more 15 years ago to be intentional about welcoming international people, promises made, promises kept. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, and forgive me if I forget somebody, but Darren Ham, who's here from USCRI, and the incredible work that that organization does to resettle our newcomers. Folks like Keith Rosenberger from Catholic Charities, doing an outstanding job with he and his legal team. People like Rick Kem from May Dugan, our newest Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society partners, and the incredible work that happens between the county and the city. And we're grateful to you, Austin Davis, representing Mayor Bibb today, for all the great work that happens in all the different ways. This wouldn't happen without that team. But Chris is going to introduce Tina, who's the worker, and then he's going to introduce our friend Sophia. The work that went into becoming certified was almost 80 steps that the county had to go through to make sure that it was meeting the criteria for doing that. 80 steps is probably, in county speak, about 3,000 meetings. Is how many people who are working right now at their desk who made this happen. And I want to say this, it's a moment of joy and we reflect on it, and you're going to hear that from Patrick and Thomas, but the work is just beginning. This project can't succeed unless the room that's here continues to be the room that welcomes our international sisters and brothers, and we all have to be there and we have to do that. County Executive for our next two speakers.
Thanks, Joe. I just want to say with appreciation again to Joe Simberman, just found the right place to be in life. Global Cleveland, it's an honor to work with you. And week in and week out, Joe's got people in town that are exploring this place, from opportunities in economic development to just understanding better our community. They continue to introduce us to the world, meeting after meeting. We take those meetings every time, and we'll move schedules and move mountains to make it happen, because we care about showcasing this place for what it is. And I think the common refrain, and Council President, I know you appreciate this, is when somebody arrives here, it's usually who knew. You know, who knew about this place? What an incredible place. So keep it coming. Keep introducing us to the world. And as people, however their path they find their way here, our hope is that you'll all spread the word about the location of this place, and that you'll get to know people. You know, I want to say to Sarah Nemistel, who's here today, our Director of HR, we have 7,000 employees at the county, 4,200 under our wing at the administration. We intend to be a partner in the employment trajectory. We hope you all will. Let persons find out about job opportunities, and they get their feet on the ground, they stay, right? So it's important that the doors are always open here. And I want to say again to the members of the media, this is a first step in our move with our Welcome Center. Expect and see more in the years to come in terms of how we co-locate with other offices around town and make bigger things happen. But today, as Joe said, it was a pledge of mine to make this happen, but we needed to get the doers to help us get it done. So I've already mentioned HHS, our entire cabinet, our partnership with council, both councils, and the city of Cleveland council and mayor's team. But I also want to say once again, HHS and Public Works, we couldn't have done this and opened this without you. Joe mentioned David Merriman, Matt Carroll, Kelly Woodward, Amanda Dempsey. They're the ones who helped us get the doors open. Sabrina Roberts, thank you, and many more. But nobody worked harder than Tina Coleman on this, and she is actually going to be the manager of the place. She did not want to come up and speak, and I said, just join me so we get to know who she is. And I'm just going to have her up and ask a couple questions. So thank you, Tina. I'm going to share the mic with you. And I don't know if anybody equipped you for these questions. So if we don't have all the answers, you'll find them on our website. But we just wanted to get to know the center, what's going to happen here, and add to what I've probably forgotten or not given. But I just wanted to ask you some of the basics about the hours of operation and when we'll be open. So,
all right.
When are we open?
So officially we'll be opening next week. Our hours will be Tuesday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we will have staff here that can assist. We'll be working with community partners to provide services.
Thank you. And a lot of those partners are out here. Yes. A special note to Job and Family Services, because they're the ones who can help people with the services of job exploration, benefits assistance, and other things. But what are some of the other services, if I've missed any, that we need to cover?
Well, I think you covered a lot of them. I think the important part is that we're going to be helping to navigate. So these partners that we have joining us, they're going to help provide connections to the services that you've listed, support with legal help, housing support, job connections, education. That's really important. And then providing access to language services. So we do have a contract with language services. If we don't have a partner in-house that day that has someone that can speak the particular language, we can contract and use our on-demand technology to make sure that we're able to support the folks that are walking through the door. We also have accommodations for those that are coming in with ADA needs, so that they can also get the support that they need.
Terrific. And I think on those ADA accommodations, that's what we want to be fully accessible all the way through. So that's an important part of this. And again, you're going to be working with community partners out throughout the community to help with the interface of people getting on board in the community.
Yes,
right?
That's key.
So Tina, thank you. Let's give it up for Tina Coleman. It's our center manager. Get to know her more. She's been a behind the scenes tour. You heard the hours, you heard the days. Our intent here is to get started, right? We're intentionally getting started. We're borrowing staff from other offices to have them in this facility. But as I said, we're going to grow. We will grow those hours. We will grow those days. But we're starting out walking before we're running, and to get this thing underway. I know, as Joe mentioned, Rick over at May Dugan and our partners, Patrick and your team at Resource Cleveland, it's an interface with you. It's getting to know who you're serving and who we're serving. And thank you for the original introduction, Patrick, to navigating for newcomers and what we do. I think I'm going to have Joe introduce some of the rest of the folks on in front of you here, and then I'm going to come back to Sophia for our last word about a welcoming community. Joe, thank you.
I also want to just take a quick second. We've got so many folks here from the county. There's also people who are part of different boards. Folks like Matt Carroll, David Fleschler, Beju Shaw, Joe Marinucci, people who, when the first Welcoming Certified conversation was happening, thought it could actually take place. It's exciting, though, because if you know Chris Ronayne, while we were standing there today with Matt Carroll talking about how does this Welcoming Certified go throughout the 59 communities here in Northeast Ohio, and how does that happen? I also want to just make sure we've got incredible partners in the secondary phase of resettlement. Folks are here from Asia, Ohio, from Building Hope in the City, as well as Neighborhood Family Practice and Clearly Legal Aid. Why are there so many people that are being mentioned? It takes a lot of work to help somebody make their way and find their home here. It's work that's ultimately successful, but it's work that requires our entire community working together. When the conversation of Welcoming Certified began, Welcoming America was doing this throughout our country. And I'm just really proud that our executive and his team, now Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, is really only the second place here in Ohio that has this. And I think we all know from watching the programs that we do, immigration continues to be a topic. It's so great to be with people who understand that we strengthen our community by welcoming our world. And our executive's going to introduce our friend who's got an announcement to make.
Okay. You want to save that for last? Can we save it for last? Yeah. We're calling an audible here. Sophia, we're saving you for last. Is that all right, Joe? All right.
Sorry.
We've done this before, but it doesn't.
When somebody said to me, "Do you want to see Chris's script?" I asked them, "Does it matter?" Sorry, I said the quiet part out loud. Thank you, County Exec. It is my pleasure to introduce two folks here, and obviously we're in a county building. We're very fortunate today to have Cuyahoga County Councilwoman Meredith Turner from District 9. When Councilwoman Turner assumed the seat and became one of our fantastic representatives on an amazing county council, we had our first meeting and my notebook was full. Councilwoman Turner worked prior to this with Senator Brown and was responsible for so many of the calls on immigration and visas and refugee needs when she was working for the United States Senate. She's somebody who just doesn't represent her community in terms of District 9. She really has become, as Councilwoman Santana has, from the Cleveland City Council perspective, the voice in the ear for people who are international throughout Cuyahoga County. Cuyahoga County Councilwoman Meredith Turner.
You gave my speech. Good morning. Last Saturday, many in this room that I see out in the audience were out working on a service project for the levy. And I want to thank County Executive Chris Ronayne for inviting me to come out to a community event in the Slovenian community on St. Clair. He says, "Come on, be in this parade with me." And so I was like, okay, I might. And then I did end up out there. And so I'm in the crowd and I see him coming on this big dump truck and he sees me and he's like, gets all excited. He's like, "Come on." So I want to thank you for always allowing me to have a platform and to be by your side and to help you in this work. And so then I hear someone getting fresh in my ear, somebody, "I love you." And it's this guy, Joe Simperman, who I love as well. And I also want to thank you. I'm so proud of you and the work that you've been doing for this community and the work that you've allowed me to do with you as well. So good morning. I am glad to be here celebrating this innovative facility. This Welcome Center stands as a symbol of our unwavering commitment to embracing diversity and fostering unity within Cuyahoga County. Individuals from all corners of the globe. Wait, globe doesn't have corners. well, from all over the world, will find sanctuary here. They will find a place where their dreams can take flight and their aspirations can be realized. As I'm thinking about some of the work that I've been able to do, and many folks in this community come in different ways, right? And I see Reverend Max Rodas in the audience. And so I just wanted to recognize you. And you also make me think about Veronica Dahlberg, and the many opportunities that we had to help reunite families all across Ohio. So good morning to you. Um, the value of this is immeasurable. It reminds me fondly of my time as an immigration and community liaison for U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown's offices. For over a decade, I helped constituents navigate through the federal agencies like USCIS, or United States Immigration and Citizenship Services, the Department of State, through the many U.S. consulates and embassies all around the world, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Customs and Border Patrol. This could be very intimidating for those with limited English proficiency who newly arrived to the United States. The ability to provide tailored resources right in our own neighborhoods through their local government is foundational to the success of an immigrant or newcomer in our community. But it's not just about the tangible services that will be offered here, though they are important. The Welcome Center embodies the values of compassion, empathy, and solidarity that define us as a community, and it is a testament to our collective belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every human being, regardless of their background, circumstances, or how they arrived on our shores. I want to thank County Executive Chris Ronayne, the Health and Human Services team who have made this center a reality, and a compliment to the work of many organizations in Cleveland and beyond for many, many years. Congratulations on this inspiring accomplishment. I'm wishing you much success for the Cuyahoga County Welcome Center. Bienvenida.
Thank you, Councilwoman Turner, for all your work. We happen to be in the host councilperson's ward, someone who represents the great ward, Ward 13. He wanted me to tell you all today not to be triskaidekaphobic, not to be afraid of the number 13. The person who's speaking next was an organizer for many years, helping people find decent and affordable housing. He also helped work in our CDC community when he worked diligently at the Metro West neighborhood. He's done a lot to remove lead poisoning from our houses, but I want to say a personal shout out because my family would have greatly benefited from this had this piece of legislation been in. He, along with Councilman Slife, under the leadership of Council President Blaine Griffin and the support of Mayor Bibb, helped usher in medical debt forgiveness, which is currently allowing so many people in our community not to have the burden of a debt that's chasing them. And we're very fortunate to have somebody who's welcoming us, Councilman Chris Harsh.
Thank you, and I'll try to be brief. It is hard to take the organizer out of me. I was out in the neighborhood earlier today, and I just realized I forgot to go home and put my good shoes on. So, cameramen, please keep it up here. But in my defense, I am a stand-in today, and I'm standing in for my colleague Jasmine Santana. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the hard work that she's put into this very center. For at least 5 years or longer, this has been a passion project of hers. And I just want to acknowledge the hard work that she's done, because it does take a lot of time and effort and a lot of people working together to make something like this come into existence. So thank you, Councilwoman Santana. Her ward starts on the other side of the zoo. If you are new to our country, the zoo is free on Mondays. It's fantastic. Stop down there and visit. We have new tiger cubs. But welcome to Ward 13. Welcome to Old Brooklyn. Welcome to Cleveland, welcome to Cuyahoga County, welcome to Ohio, and welcome to America. My wife is a third-generation American. Our children are 10th-generation Americans, and a few doors down lives a first-generation family. And on our best days, America lives up to its ideals of being an inclusive place for all people around the world, and today is one of those days. So thank you for inviting me. I will hand it back over. All right.
Thank you, Councilman. As I bring our next speaker up, I just want to quickly shout out my colleagues at Global Cleveland who have been involved in so long to help make so many things happen. And I just want to say to each and every one of you, thank you very much for all the great work you do. I think one of the joys of working at Global Cleveland is that we get to learn from and watch our leadership in our community. And the next person who's going to speak, who's been so involved in activating this space and making sure that this place works through the many different programs that are offered, is somebody who first moved back to Cleveland in 2016. Many people have met our next speaker at the Ohio City Farm, the largest urban farm in the United States, which is immediately behind Riverview Towers by the West Side Market. And as wonderful as the produce is, the relationships and the meaningfulness of the people who tend that farm, who are from all over the world, make that place so special. Recently, the organization that Patrick leads has gone through a rebranding. Refugee Response is now Resource Clee, but at its heart, it is always the one place that makes sure that whoever comes here, people feel welcome. Our next speaker, Mr. Patrick Hearns.
Thank you. Imagine tomorrow you had minutes to pack a bag, take your family, and fly to a new country. A place you hadn't been before, didn't know anyone there, didn't speak the language, and were not familiar with the society or the social systems. In most places, you would arrive and you'd need to figure it out, often alone. It could take months of time and be full of mistakes, setbacks, and confusions. Now imagine you could design something better. You could help make something that would turn this new place into a new home. And I think you might come up with something like we have here today. A place that not only says welcome, but provides a single stop to navigate through essential services and new opportunities, where you were helped along the way in your own language and maybe by somebody who came from the same country as you. Each year, thousands of newcomers arrive in Cuyahoga County from dozens of different countries. Each week, people come to Cuyahoga County from other cities in the U.S. where they first arrived. They come here because we promise welcome, and they come here because they look for a place for their kids and their families to grow up and thrive. A little over a year ago, we started a program called Newcomer Navigators with 7 newcomer populations to remove barriers to access, serve people in their own language, and give the message that we want families to come here and thrive for the future. This project was the first funding from Cuyahoga County specifically dedicated to newcomers. And our chief executive, Chris Ronayne, and his team had this understanding and vision, and they kept their promise. And they were all in on welcoming. This whole thing couldn't have happened without our friend and our MC today, Mr. Joe Simperman and his team at Global Cleveland, who tirelessly and passionately advocated for this reality and for this welcoming. In the past year, the Navigator program ran 6 one-stop shop days that reached 246 families. And these days bring in dozens of partners and community services. Right here in this building on January 18th, over 80 Swahili-speaking families were here. 20 families completed new applications. 30 families completed their interviews for eligible benefits. One family we worked with, a mom with 5 kids, had given up for a year on applying for benefits. They were struggling with rent. They were struggling with food security. And our team member, who I see right there, Kavugo, my North Star right there, convinced that mom to come in, fill out her applications, and she did. And overnight, they were eligible for $1,000 in food services that changed their lives. And you know what? That keeps that family here. That keeps them here. That doesn't make them think maybe Dayton is the place to go, or maybe Tallahassee. It's Cuyahoga County. A welcoming center is symbolic. It says we value the skills, experiences, and potential of newcomers for who they are and what they bring to this region. And over this first year, 401 families were served, 1,300, more than 1,300 individuals through this program. This Welcome Center says we're open for business and we're ready to invest in the future. But more than symbolic, a Welcome Center is practical. It's a place where families can get answers, receive services, and get assistance in navigating life in this new place. This Welcome Center was a vision led by our county executive and his team. I want to give a very special shout out to David Merriman, Matt Carroll, and the incomparable Tina Coleman, who has been our partner in crime this whole way, answering calls, making things happen, and literally putting up the walls. Thank you, Tina. It's a pleasure to work with you and your team. So Resource Cleveland is proud to be here today. And we're not only here to cut a ribbon, but we're here to start doing the work. Our organization, our team members have committed and and dedicated time to staff this building alongside of our JFS partners to make this Welcoming Center a reality. I see my partners in the Newcomer Navigator program from Nueva Luz USCRI, from Smart Development, Nueva Luz Urban Resource Center, and our friends at Rise Together, who dedicated and are also dedicating their time to make this a reality. Thank you for being here today. These things make a difference. It's a symbol and it's a service, and I think it's gonna put this county and our teams on the map. So it's my great pleasure next to introduce a friend of mine who I've known since I first came to Cleveland, my friend Thomas Kate. Thomas and his family arrived as refugees from Burma or Myanmar in 2009. He's been with Resource Cleveland, formerly Refugee Response, since the very beginning. And his job with us is helping families navigate these systems of JFS, helping navigate new life here, and working alongside of our partners at the Welcome Center. So it is my distinct pleasure to introduce my colleague and friend, Mr. Thomas Kate.
Good morning. I'm very happy, and thank you for getting the chance to share my experience 13 years with the Resource Cleveland and the community member, all the other agencies who support us years. I've been here 13 years, and I'm experienced that all of my community member and the community, other community member that I support, stayed here because of today Welcome Center. If we don't have this thing, a lot of people from my friends, my community member who live in other state, convince me every day, come to stay with me there. We have a lot of community, we have a lot of support this year. But I say, here we have this community too. We need to support. So I cannot leave. And I'm very happy, and I feel like this is significantly important because we need this kind of Welcome Center to support our community member through supporting them and feel like home. Right now, when we have this one, they might feel more secure, and they might feel this one is my home. They will start to do mortgage. They want to buy the house to live in Cleveland here, and therefore we will see that they will not interested to do second migrations to other state anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Patrick. And thank all of you. We are having a great day twice over for a few reasons. I'm going to get to our final reason in a minute. But I do want to say back to everybody, every one of you tells a story about your family's journey from wherever they came. And again, I keep saying, I think we're among the converted with the team that's here today. You wouldn't be here if you didn't care, every one of you. But we need to get more of that word out in the rest of our community and make sure that we're all ambassadors to newcomers. I said this story, Thomas just shared his. I'll share just a quick family story of ours that I've shared with at previous county gatherings. Simple story of immigrants in my family. My stepfather, who lives today in Fairview Park, came over as a young kid after experiencing war, Second World War in war-torn Europe. Came with his father, didn't know anybody, has successfully raised his family, his kids right out of Old Brooklyn actually here, and made a life of it because he got a chance. And he started his first housing was in Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority public housing. And got that leg up and then bought his house here in Old Brooklyn. But the story I actually like to tell is what he was first welcomed with. And that was a simple thing. He was a kid who got off of a boat literally in the New York harbor, got out on the dock, and the first person he met in this country gave him a stick of chewing gum. He didn't know what to do with it, but he finally chewed that gum. That was a welcoming gesture, right? Just give a kid a piece of gum. The other, my father-in-law and my stepfather speak regularly about their immigrant experience, but the other story I just quickly want to tell is the story of my father-in-law who came from Lebanon. Again, troubled times overseas, found his path here, found a way to get to school here, had a uncle, a minister who sort of sponsored his trip here, but he found himself in, of all places, a man from Beirut finds himself in Chardon, Ohio. And the funny story he has is, what do you do with your first paycheck after your first job? You go out and get some groceries. And what do you do with a handful of groceries when you're trying to figure out how to get it home? Well, in Beirut, you call a cab. So at the grocery attendant, he said, "Can you tell me where I can get a cab?" And the guy said, "You're not going to get a cab in Chardon, Ohio." But True story. Take my keys, bring your groceries back. We'll see you back here. He came back, and actually it was his friend who drove the car. His friend drove him home. He brought the car back, and the man who gave him the keys was his future brother-in-law. He introduced him to his sister, married here in America, and that's a story, right? That's how we welcome, whether it's a simple piece of chewing gum or a car to get home. It's who we are. And I think lest we forget, it's who we are. And it's why we're doing what we're doing today. All of us, we each have our story, as Thomas shared his. We're here to welcome. And that's the point of this welcoming center. So 2 things before we go. In a minute, we're going to cut the ribbon, and I'm going to ask our public officials to join us, and Tina and Matt and David and some of the team that's put this together, join the team here. But before we do that, this is an important day for Cuyahoga County. It's a great day for Cuyahoga County. It's a great day because we have now achieved a certified welcoming designation. And we're proud of that. We worked at that. And as Joe said, there's many steps to actually get there. We're proud to join our partners in Lucas County, Toledo, who've also become a certified welcoming community. But we can now go across the country and let people know we welcome you here. Wherever we are, we welcome you in Cuyahoga County. So she came all the way from Denver, Colorado to join us today. And her name is Sophia Hernandez of Welcoming America. And she's going to present to us what this is all about as a certified welcoming community here in Cuyahoga County. My pleasure to introduce Sophia Hernandez, and welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you. Good morning, and thanks for having me here. My name is Sophia Hernandez, and I serve on the communications team at Welcoming America. And on behalf of Welcoming America, I'm thrilled to congratulate Cuyahoga County on its certified welcoming designation. With this designation, the county joins a growing trend in the state of Ohio by becoming just the 2nd county in the state to become certified and the 4th community overall to become certified welcoming. So it's quite the accomplishment. And this trend isn't just taking place in Ohio. Across the US, communities are becoming certified welcoming for the same reasons that the county has. It reflects the collaborative efforts of the community in fostering a welcoming environment, as well as the county's commitment to ensuring that every resident can fully participate in the civic, social, and economic fabrics of community life. One example of this is the Welcome Center. Spaces like this, plus new staff positions and intentional outreach through the Community Outreach, Messaging, and Education Team, or COMET, demonstrates this commitment. We also want to spotlight the strong partnership of the county that the county has with organizations like Global Cleveland and the Refugee Services Collaborative of Greater Cleveland to identify new avenues of collaboration and engagement, particularly with refugee residents. Today, we hope all residents in Cuyahoga County, regardless of status, background, or country of origin, can celebrate this accomplishment and feel part of this achievement. So Welcoming America and welcoming leaders everywhere celebrate with you and applaud your leadership in building a welcoming society where every person, including immigrants, can fully shape our shared prosperity. So thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Sophia. And people keep pouring in, so thank you, those of you who have arrived. Ian from Lakewood Alive, thanks for being here. Our communities throughout Cuyahoga County will welcome, and I know our mayors are committed to it. We talk about it with our mayors a lot. So this distinction is, yes, Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland, but it's 58 other partner communities. And it's now my pleasure, if I may, well, again, thank you, Sophia, for doing this and being here with us today. I'd like you to join us, but if I may, everybody that's here, our elected officials that are out here, Tina and the team, Matt, David, you guys, if you can come up, we are going to cut the ribbon on this new Welcome Center. And anybody that wants to participate that worked on this, Amanda, Kelly, Sabrina, come on up. Thanks again to the Public Works team for helping making it happen, the HHS team for staffing it. We're going to grow this. Thanks for our media partners who are here today. And oh, good, we do have some scissors. So today on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2024, we open as the Cuyahoga County Welcome Center. Thanks, guys. Let's do this. You want to do the countdown for 3? All right, we ready? You guys ready? All right, all right. Everybody, come on back.